In this video, we have an amazing story from a subscriber about some incredible books that he found for $10 at an estate sale. And I want to let the story build and tell the whole story before I show you the actual books because I think it adds to the experience. I think it's worth 10 minutes of your day to just sit back, relax, and listen to this awesome story from Stephen about his incredible find at an estate sale. Put yourself there in his shoes and put those good vibes out there that this will happen to you someday. And let's just enjoy this cool story of Stephen finding some grails for $10. I went to my second ever estate sale on Friday, showed up later than I wanted, but still an hour and a half early. I immediately noticed some other collectors well ahead of me in line, so I started to feel discouraged because I figured that they would grab all the books I showed up for. So apparently this was advertised somewhere, and there was actual pictures of the books, and that word got out, and there was a lot of people in line. Of course, when they let us in, I went completely the wrong direction, but after a couple minutes and asking around, I found the line to look at the books. There were roughly 7 to 10 people ahead of me, and they were only allowing one person at a time to look at the books. So I painfully stood there and watched as each person grabbed all the good books. My discouragement was peaking as I watched another collector grab most of what I thought to be the last of the Silver Age books. I can only imagine what kind of stuff was sold at this sale and for what price. Because one thing I noticed as I got closer was that everyone before me passed on a $10 stack of books labeled Poor Shape. When it was my turn, I decided to buy that stack of poor shape books without looking at them and dropped $115 on the rest of the books I grabbed. I always try to save any old books I find from being abandoned and thrown away, or if anything, I can practice cleaning and pressing them. Little did I know what treasures were hiding in that $10 stack. When I got home, I didn't touch that stack until I finished going through my quote-unquote better books that were $5 and $10 each. I started to have some buyer's remorse because I paid more than what most of these books were worth. So this is interesting because it sounds like, the estate sale did really well on some of these books and then, really poorly, as we'll see, on others. I then started carefully going through the poor shape stack. Note, all the poor shape books are missing their covers except for 2, and a couple were completely inside out. I got a couple books in and found Aquaman number 6. I already own a nice copy, so didn't get too excited. Then came across a page fold with Spider-Man. Wasn't sure what it was, so I set it aside. I then came across Marvel Collector's Items Classics number 1 and immediately figured that Spider-Man page was from it. Following that, I found an intact Spider-Man, 2 Iron Man, 1 Strange Tales, and 3 Fantastic Four books. At first, I thought they were all torn from those collector's books until actually looking at their spines. Then I knew I had something, but still didn't want to get my hopes up just yet. After 1 to 2 hours of research to verify and making 100% sure I was correct, these are what I found in that $10 stack of poor shape books. Amazing Spider-Man number 1, Tales of Suspense 39, Tales of Suspense 38, Tales of Suspense 40, Strange Tales 111, Fantastic Four number 11, Fantastic Four 12, and Fantastic Four 13. I would love to find covers for all of these. I actually went back to the estate sale trying to find if they could be anywhere, but no luck. If you know of anyone willing to part with some decent covers for these, I'd be willing to buy or trade for them. So the big ones here are actually any of them, but the big ones are Amazing Spider-Man 1 and Tales of Suspense 39. So I reached out to this guy. I just responded. I'm waiting on his response to see if he'll provide his email. So if he did, I'll put it up on the screen here. So if you have covers for any of these books, he's looking for them. And also, he might be willing to sell these as well. And you guys can work with each other. I'll act as an intermediary if you don't feel comfortable, dealing directly with each other. You can send stuff to my shop. I don't need to make anything off it. I just ask that you guys do all the negotiating yourself. And then it goes on to say, although I know I'll more than likely never find these again in the wild and for so cheap, I decided that right now the money would be more helpful than anything. So I'm looking at offers on TOS 38, 39, 40 as a bundle. Might sell a couple of the others if I don't find covers for them. Anyway, I just wanted to share this cool find with you and others who love comics as much as I do. You're more than welcome to share my story and pictures with the community. So here you go, guys. Bam. This is the $10 stack of books. Look at this. Fantastic Four number 12, 11, 13. First appearance of Iron Man, coverless but complete in Tales of Suspense number 39. Spider-Man number 1, coverless but complete. And just to show you guys, I want to, and then of course, first appearance of Asbestos Man, Strange Tales 111, one of my favorite books in my personal collection. And here on GP Analysis, we can see that a no-grade coverless copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 1 sold in June of 2023 for $3,000, even without a cover, no grade coverless, but a blue label, $3,000. And if we go over to Tales of Suspense 39, no grade coverless, but still a blue unrestored label, $1,500 was the last sale in May of 2023. So, you know, in today's market, maybe if he's lucky, $4,000 worth of books just in these two books right here, all for $10. Let's see what some of the other pictures of stuff that he found here. So here's, it looks like maybe he actually bought some of these other ones for $5 or $10. These might have been the ones he was feeling buyer's remorse on, that he, you know, missed all the good stuff. But here's, I think this is FF13. I think it's the first appearance of The Watcher, which is a really cool story. I highly recommend reading that one if you haven't. Some of these might have been the ones he spent $5 or $10 on, but I think this list were all included in the stack for $10. There's a close-up of that first ever, you know, interior page of Iron Man, the splash page for Amazing Spider-Man number 1. What I love about this picture right here is that this is obviously his kitchen counter. You can see the microwave and stuff. Is that he put it on a paper towel. You know, these books have been neglected and discarded and rejected for decades upon decades. Actually, they've been probably well read and enjoyed and loved, but just not cared for like collectibles. But not anymore. You know, when he put these down on his kitchen counter, he said, I'm going to put a paper towel down because I don't want any liquids or stains to get on these books. So they're finally getting treated as collectibles after all these years, which is so cool to see. Some more pictures here. And so this is one of those early Fantastic Four where they meet Incredible Hulk for the first time. Just an amazing story. I want to remind you guys that we always do a monthly giveaway here on the YouTube channel. If you subscribe, comment, and like, you're entered to win a free slab here on the YouTube channel. And if you head over to bricecomics.com and sign up for the newsletter, we do a monthly giveaway every single month of some awesome slabs. Up on the screen now is this month's giveaway, and you'll also get first notice of new inventory that's released at bricecomics.com. If you use code COLLECT10, you get 10% off all in-stock items. And lastly, follow me on Instagram and Whatnot. A link down in the description for $15 towards your first purchase on Whatnot. So I hope you enjoyed this story. I mean, it's just so awesome to see. I mean, the first takeaway I think about this is that they're out there, you guys. They are out there. And if you position yourself to find collections, find great deals on books like this, you know, there is a possibility that you will find them. And the second thing I want to talk about with this is ethics. And, you know, this is a situation where in this particular situation, I don't think there was anything unethical about what he did. I mean, these books were offered as a stack of poor condition books for $10. I mean, they went through the trouble to actually price things and put them and sell them, and he didn't even know what they were until he got home. I mean, I don't think there's anything unethical about this. But the act of finding rare comics at estate sales or from collectors does bring up the question of ethics. And like, say, for example, let's play through a couple of different scenarios. And I'm curious to know down in the comments what you guys would do in a situation like this. Let's say that this exact scenario was the original collector. It was before he passed. It wasn't an estate sale. Say it was the original collector. He's 90 years old. He's sitting in a rocking chair at a garage sale instead of a estate sale. And he's selling his comic books. And he has, you know, Grails, like maybe was a good condition, or a fair condition Spider-Man 1, he has it marked for $20. At that point, do you feel an obligation to tell the seller? I mean, he's priced the books at that. Let's say, for example, you walk into a thrift shop and you see an Amazing Spider-Man 1 with a $20 price sticker on it. Do you feel an obligation to tell the thrift shop owner that that is a crazy good deal? For me, I think the answer is it depends on the situation, right? I think in almost any situation, if I went to a yard sale and the original collector was sitting in a rocking chair selling his books for way under value, just from what I know about old timers and collectors, I have, an affinity for these people. And I think in almost any situation, I would absolutely tell them what they had, right? But I guess the only exception to that would be if it was like a complete jerk, like, and then I might be able to rationalize and say, well, this guy is a complete jerk and he's the one who put the $20 price tag on it. But I don't think that would ever actually happen. I just don't think any collectors I would find as complete jerks. And same similar thing for the thrift store. I mean, it depends on the thrift store owner. If they put a $20 price tag on it, you can rest assured that they're making money at that price. Like, if they're willing to sell it at that means they got it for even less than that. So I think it depends on your relationship with the thrift shop owner and the whole situation. So I think the long answer for me is it depends. I think I am a firm believer in, what goes around comes around, and there's more to life than just, dollars and cents. And so if you're able to, live a life of honesty and transparency and, doing the right thing, I think there's more value in that than, coming up on some comics that were underpriced. So factor that into it too. There's more to it than just the money. It's the way that you live your life and stuff like that. So some interesting things to consider, some interesting points that, if you're in this hobby long enough, you're going to come across an ethical situation. And I'm curious to know from you guys what you think down in the comments below. Thank you to Stephen for providing this awesome story. Thank you to you guys for sticking with me to the end of the video, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.